You mean we grow up, go legit, live happily ever after? We've been hustling together our whole lives. I love this shit. So do you.
Now, this was news I don't think anybody was expecting to drop at this moment in time. They have officially cast a young Ghost and Tommy for Power Origins. We know they were in the casting stages and they were looking at characters like Ghost, Tommy. I'm sure a young Kay Egan will be on the list as well, Curtis St. Patrick, and a few others. The last time they announced some news, it was that Power Origins would be 18 episodes for the first season, and where they also announced Mackay Curtis will also be returning to Power Origins to play a young Kanan Stark. When we broke down that bit of news, I did actually mention the next time we probably have one of these updates, it would probably be around casting. I didn't think we'd get the news so soon, but hey, here we are. I'm not complaining. They've officially announced Spence Moore will be playing a young Ghost, and Charlie Mann will be playing Tommy Egan. The Deadline article also reads, in Power Origins, Ghost and Tommy are ambitious young entrepreneurs on the rise, determined to make their mark on the streets of New York City. The series will also highlight the unbridled audacity of young men not just leveling up, but determined to become legends in the game. And legends did they become. We all know how they turned out in Power, but I think they've started to announce the cast now because they're probably getting close to moving things with filming the first season in early 2026. But I'm going to come back around to that in just a moment. Just to take it back a step, a lot of you guys would have noticed I'm always using this particular footage when we touch on the topic of Power Origins or a young Ghost and Tommy. It's a scene that they use right at the back end of Power to actually tease Raising Kanan. I've read some comments where some have said, why not just use the actors that they use in this particular scene? Now the thing is, I'm sure they probably did consider it, but we have to remember this was filmed around maybe six years ago. It's been a very long time since this was filmed. We saw this scene way back in February 2020, but it would have been filmed way before that. These guys won't be the same young actors anymore. I think Ethan Kutkuski, who played the young Tommy in this particular scene, was on a stream where he did actually mention he hopes he can play the young Tommy Egan. And honestly, he hasn't aged much. With what they can also do in the makeup department, AI, and all of that sort of stuff, they could probably do it, but over time things change. I'm sure they probably would have considered it. They would have done some due diligence, auditions. I'm sure a lot of young actors would have auditioned for young Ghost and Tommy. But in the end, they decided the two actors that are best to play young Ghost and Tommy are Spence Moore and Charlie Mann. They're the best fit to play a young Ghost and Tommy going forward. And honestly, I don't think any of us should judge too soon. I've seen a lot of comments, especially on X, saying Spence Moore looks nothing like Ghost. They've already got Ghost wrong, this and that, which in my opinion is very harsh. I'm not too sure whether I've personally seen Charlie Mann in many TV shows or movies. Maybe some of you guys in the comment section can give us some more insight into Charlie Mann. What I would say about Spence Moore, I've seen him in Creed 3. He's a decent actor, and I personally think he'll play the role of Ghost really well. What we also have to remember when it comes to the casting of these prequel shows, Sasha Penn will be heavily involved. Now, why I'm saying just chill, relax, give the kid a chance, is because we only have to look at how well they put together the cast in Raising Kanan. From the top, Rock, Marvin, Lou, Unique, Detective Howard, all the way down to characters like Famous, Kanan, Jukebox, add in Ronnie Mathis, who absolutely killed his role in Season 3. You've also got the additions of OGs like Snaps and Pop, who speak for themselves in terms of what they've previously done in the world of television. Just have a look at how great the cast in Raising Kanan is, and I wouldn't say each and every single one of them were very well known. You've obviously got Wendell Pierce, who I just mentioned, Omar Epps, Joey Badass. We also know Malcolm Mays from Snowfall and other things. But the young Jukebox, how good is Hailey Kilgore as young Juke? How good is London Brown as Marvin? The casting for Raising Kanan should tell everyone. These guys definitely know what they're doing when it comes to nailing the actors for their particular role in these prequel shows for the Power universe. You guys have heard me say it before about BMF. You carry on hiring rappers and artists instead of proper actors. Well, how did that work out? I think because a lot of people have been waiting many years for this show. People have been waiting for this news, and this decision would have been very tough behind the scenes. I'd say it's probably up there as tough as picking Shameik Moore as Breeze, a young Ghost, the most popular character by a mile from the world of Power. This would have been a very difficult choice behind the scenes, and a pick they no doubt would have done their homework on. So, before anybody jumps on the train to say they've got the casting wrong, he looks nothing like an older Ghost, all I'm going to say is just have a look at the history when it comes to Raising Kanan. It's the same showrunner, and I actually trust that he's going to nail the casting for Power Origins. Not just for a young Ghost and Tommy, but also for everyone else I mentioned at the beginning. Curtis St. Patrick, maybe Uncle Gabe will be in Power Origins, Kay Egan, Angela Valdez, and there's going to be so many more. with Sasha Penn spearheading the show as he has done for Raising Kanan, I do actually trust he'll do it right. So, Spence Moore and Charlie Mann, those are the two chosen ones. And now I think the question turns to, when do they get filming? When are we going to see Power Origins Season 1? I think the fact that they dropped this news now in September, I think it should tell us everything we need to know. They're getting the ball rolling. They're getting things moving in terms of casting for Power Origins. I'm sure they probably already lined up a lot more actors, and in due course we're going to see a lot more announcements just like this one. Hopefully they give us a few character descriptions to also work with. They haven't done so with the young Ghost and Tommy in terms of a specific character description for both characters. A lot of you will probably think we don't even need a character description for these two characters, but I do think we will get them in due course, because they're not going to be the same ruthless drug dealers we saw in Power. Going back to the brief description that they've given us, at this moment in time in Season 1, they're young entrepreneurs on their rise. They want to make their mark on the streets of New York City, and they're also going to want to try and impress Kanan and Breeze. We're going to see how ambitious they are. And just going back to the actor standpoint, hopefully they have that chemistry that the older Ghost and Tommy had back in Power. If I remember correctly, Joseph Sikora was on The Crew Has a Podcast, and he mentioned that he did a read with Amari Hardwick. Maybe they've done something very similar with Spence Moore and Charlie Mann, and realized that they were the best fit together. You don't get Ghost without Tommy, and you don't get Tommy without Ghost. They come as a pair, especially when they were growing up. Remember what Ghost said to Angela? She can have Lobos. He gave her Lobos for all her troubles, but she wasn't going to have Tommy. So, from the casting point of view, again, hopefully they've got that chemistry that the older Ghost and Tommy had pretty much nailed as well. But on them actually dropping this news at this moment in time, it tells me they're probably getting ready to film. Filming, in my opinion, probably starts early in 2026. And maybe it's a push, but maybe we see Power Origins towards the back end of next year or definitely early 2027. But that's the latest breaking news. Young Ghost and Tommy have officially been cast. So drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section and let me know what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.